tax, accounting, and payroll. Thank you for voting us Yuba Sutter's best in multiple categories, including financial advisor and wealth management firm for the past 5 years. You can find more information at shawassociatesinc.com or 530-674-1150. Shaw & Associates is proud to support community radio.
And speaking of community radio, how about community law enforcement? Andre Licon, Sutter County Sheriff's Department, Sheriff's Deputy. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I can call you sir without handing you my driver's license and proof of insurance, right?
Yeah, this morning. Yeah, absolutely.
You don't do law or traffic enforcement. You are you a traffic enforcement guy?
I am a jack of all trades.
Jack of all trades.
Go wherever they need me.
Well, tell me about yourself. Where are you from?
Originally from Northwestern Oregon and settled into Northern California many years ago. And that led me to a path here in Yuba City.
A path in law enforcement. Tell me, how'd you get in law enforcement?
Well, I had a friend who was kind of a father figure to me, and he was a captain with Sacramento County Sheriff's Office. And I had approached him one day about really getting a professional career started in my life. I raced bicycles before this and really just worked enough to allow me to train and compete. So it's time to get a real job.
You raced bicycles. Are you one of those guys that in the pack that go around like we see in Reno and things like that, or maybe even?
Yeah, sometimes.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool. How fast were you up to? Because I know those guys could get fast, like 60 miles an hour.
Yeah, I don't know that I ever got that fast. I think the fastest I've ever been on a bicycle is the high 50s, but it wasn't in a race.
Holy smokes. That's still pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Oregon.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about Oregon. It inculcates and gets people to wanting to be in law enforcement, because my grandson is up right now living in Oregon.
Okay.
And he wants to be a law enforcement. And he's 19 years old and he's on his way.
That's a great profession.
Well, which brings us to the next item here. I want to talk about the Citizens Academy, because the Citizens Academy gives people a taste of what law enforcement is about, right?
It does. It does. We did our first Citizens Academy, last year before last. COVID kind of messes up my timeline a little bit.
Messed up everything.
Yeah, it did. But it's a wonderful opportunity for folks who are interested in law enforcement. A traditional law enforcement academy is a little over 6 months generally for most folks if you're going to a full-time academy. And that's something where you would go 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, maybe some Saturdays. And it's really like a full-time job, very intensive. Yeah. Whereas this is for someone who maybe isn't necessarily looking to get a career in law enforcement, although they could later.
I've talked to a few that have because of this. Go
Perfect.
ahead.
Well, good. That's a wonderful thing. It's a great segue into the career. And this is just kind of a sampler, if you will. And so it gives you a chance to see the different units and divisions within our agency, how it operates, how they fall into line with the community and legal standards and operational principles. And it's 1 day a week, generally 3 hours. There's a couple of nights that are a couple hours with some projects after that, 12-week process.
I've seen a video of a gang member, if you will, and he did kind of a Citizens Academy right along, and he saw what the police did, and he totally changed his perception of, that person, I guess, is no longer in gangs. He didn't realize you all are not this, for lack of a better phrase, jackbooted government thugs. You're there to keep the peace, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think sometimes there's, it's easy for there to be a misconception or a misperception of our actions or what we do. And I think, everyone's scope is based on their observations or their experiences. So it's important for everyone to remember that, what I experience or what you experience is different than what someone else experiences. And so the more experience you can bring to your plate or to your table, the broader view you're going to have.
Well, tell me about the Citizens Academy. Is this still going on? Are you looking for people right now?
Yeah, absolutely. So our introduction night, our orientation night is going to be May the 4th. It's a Wednesday. For any Star Wars fans.
Yeah, I was going to say,
May the 4th.
Let's be with you.
Yeah, I was waiting for that. At any rate, so that'll be our first night. The sheriff will be there, Sheriff Barnes, provide some information, some introductory information. Generally, we have a little tour of the facility and explain what is going to be coming down the line for them. And then I believe with the exception of 1 week on the schedule, it'll be every Wednesday. So from 6 to 9 or 6 to 8. 12-week process, and we'll have different keynote speakers each night and some handouts, information, literature for folks.
Any cost on this for people other than the cost of gasoline to get to it?
That I think we were talking before the show. I saw diesel was $6 or $6.10 a gallon this morning.
In this area. That's amazing.
Yeah, thankfully I don't have one of those. But there's no fee, just your time. and show up. There are some criteria, so you need to be 18 or older. You can have no outstanding warrants, no prior felony convictions, and then we want to have 2 references. So we'll have an application that I can send out to them, and they can email me or call me, and we'll get those folks that are interested in it on the list, and we'll take 25 folks.
Have you ever had anybody try to do this and they had a warrant?
Not yet, not that I'm aware of.
Or maybe they weren't aware they had one.
Well, that's been my experience. Most people know they have.
Is that what it is? Okay. Most people know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's kind of change hats if we could, because, first off, Gary wanted to be here.
Yeah, I know. He sent me a text this morning saying he wasn't going to make it. So.
Yeah. Because you guys are buddies.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been friends since about 2009, I think.
Is it through church or your business?
Through motorcycles.
Through motorcycles?
Yeah, dirt bikes.
Because he has the No Toil Industries.
Yeah. I've used their products for many years. That's actually how I met him.
Oh, okay. And so you used to race motorcycles as well?
Still
or
do.
Just play
did.
on them?
Yeah, did until about 6 months ago.
Really? It's heck getting older, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
it beats the alternative.
This is true. Let's talk about that the homeless outreach, if we could.
Certainly.
Are you the person that kind of like is designated in the sheriff's department to lead up the homeless outreach?
Yeah,
issues?
I'm very fortunate with the position that I have within the sheriff's office. Sheriff Barnes created this position when he came in, and he's really given me a tremendous amount of leash, if you will, to kind of take this position and run with it, and I think it's worked out really swimmingly. So I handle all of our homeless outreach, homeless engagement for the unincorporated areas of Sutter County, as well as coordinate our neighborhood watch programs, events like this, community outreach, school contacts, town hall meetings. I assist with our social media, do interviews and things like that, like we're doing this morning.
Okay. I saw before the Buckeye Parade, I saw a homeless guy sleeping on the sidewalk.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that would garner the attention of maybe you or the homeless outreach? Because, the person was, I was torn, the whole thing about there's somebody sleeping on the sidewalk right before a parade. But then I was thinking, how is this person sleeping through this, for one thing, and what story has this person been through, and how can, do you approach them? Is it a law enforcement thing?
Sure. Well, my advice to everyone, any member of the community is, by all means, we're open 24/7. So if you see someone that is of interest or concern, or that you think we should contact, or maybe that we're not aware of.
Somebody sleeping on the sidewalk, is that something that
you can always call
concerned?
us. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely, sure. I mean, that's not unfortunately, in the day and age that we're in, sometimes that is a normal thing, but I would say for most of us in society that we know of, that's not really a normal behavior. Yeah. So call us, and there's folks both at the police department as well as sheriff's office like myself, and that's our primary task, one of our primary tasks, to go out and contact those individuals and see what the circumstances are.
What would you be able to offer that person as far as help goes?
So it's everything from education, explaining that there's an ordinance, city or county, depending on the location, that may or may not prevent that behavior. Yeah. Food, perhaps shelter services if they're interested in those, outreach services, counseling, therapy, rehabilitation, job placement. Those are all things that both the city and county within the Yuba Sutter area offer.
Do you run into people that are in a drug-induced haze on a daily basis?
Yeah, not necessarily daily, but there are certainly a number of substance abusers within the Yuba Sutter area.
What is the big thing that we should be concerned about of this area? Because meth at one time was the big one. It still is, probably.
Sure. Yeah, methamphetamine is still prevalent in some demographics within this area. Fentanyl and prescription meds, heroin.
Fentanyl and prescription meds. Yeah. Tell me about that, because I all I hear is like it's 10,000 times as powerful as heroin, and if you're within 10 feet of it, you'll overdose, kind of thing.
Sure, yeah, it's like an atomic bomb or something.
Yeah, because we've seen videos about that.
Yeah, well, it's keep in mind it's something that it is it's processed and made man-made, essentially, if you will, in some kind of a laboratory-esque environment. Yeah. And so much like anything else, it just depends on the concentration. You could have a pill factory that's pressing out pills or powder, and it's 5% or 90%, and depends on how it's cut and everything else.
Do we have a problem with fake pills in the area?
I think there's fake pills everywhere. Are there? If you're not buying anything through a pharmacy, that's medically based, you run that risk. Anything you're buying off the street, it's no different than buying, any other consumable item, steak or strawberries or anything else. There's no standards, no guarantees.
Now, heroin has been a problem. It kind of made a resurgence the last couple of years. Is it on the wane?
I think the only thing that's putting it on the wane is the fact that prescription pills and fentanyl-based products are readily available, and from what I'm hearing, the fees are less than heroin would be if you're a user on the street.
How do you deal with folks like that? I mean, because you're doing the homeless outreach, do you not just bring them aware of it? Do you kind of like give them a ride to it, if you will? Or
well, you can. I mean, there's certainly, depending on what the drug is, I mean, there are legal standards that prevent someone from being under the influence of a controlled substance. Yeah. Those are different than alcohol or marijuana. But for someone who's a habitual or a chronic user, you really they have to want to get clean and sober. There's a friend of mine that coined the phrase, you can't want it more than they do, and I think that's completely applicable in that situation. If that individual, and you catch them at a time when they realize that their life is not where they want to be, or they're physically or metaphorically not where they want to be, then that's your opportunity to get them into maybe clean and sober living and some kind of a rehabilitation process. And
it's not just the homeless people; it's people you run into on a daily basis. There's a woman on trial, or she was, for being under the influence when she killed that young boy over in Yuba City. Can't comment on any individual cases, but I'm just saying you run into situations similar to that. Where people,
sure.
I mean, if you showed up this morning and I was slurring my speech and everything, and you'd be concerned, wouldn't you?
Well, yeah, I would hope that that wasn't a normal day for you.
Well, no, it's not a normal. I don't do that. I'm just saying that you would run into somebody that because it's not just the homeless people in that line that are living that transitory existence, I guess is the word.
Yeah, for sure. No, there's a large number of people, I think, in any community. This isn't exclusive to Yuba Sutter. I think this is all of Western civilization as we know it, that regardless of the substance, whether it's alcohol or marijuana or methamphetamine or heroin or opiate-based meds, I mean, there's certainly a large number of the population that use those in some capacity.
Well, I think the legislature has realized that the pendulum needs to swing back a little bit. They went a little bit too far legalizing certain things and certain behaviors and certain drugs and it's caused quality of life issues.
It does. Everything has a collateral effect, and so if you're a user, your scope of perception maybe is that hula hoop around you, that 3-foot radius. Yeah. But you have all the secondary effects, whether it's family members or coworkers or the average citizen that you maybe get in a vehicle accident, you hit another car, or everything else. I think it's kind of that butterfly effect too.
What do you wish people would learn about, not so much about law enforcement, just about getting along, I guess, more because you're peace officers.
Yeah. Well, you always hope that someone, kindness is always a good thing. Kindness and generosity. I think, it's an age-old expression of treating others as you would have them treat you. And I think if we all did that, it would probably put most law enforcement out of a job because they wouldn't need us anymore.
What is your most effective de-escalation techniques?
Oh, boy. I think the biggest thing that anyone can do, and it doesn't really matter if you're in law enforcement or, a parent or a school teacher or, pushing your grocery cart down the aisle, is just being calm. I mean, there are people who are upset. Maybe they're enraged. Maybe they're having a bad day. I don't know what their day was before I contacted them. Maybe they had some catastrophic, life-altering event and they're still processing it. And just maintaining your own composure, I think, is the greatest thing that anyone can do. And being aware of your own actions. So if that other person is having a bad day, maybe they just need to vent. Maybe 10 minutes later they'll realize that their actions weren't the best and calm down, or whatever they're going to do. But you shouldn't allow someone else's actions to have a negative effect on your behavior.
Yeah, but when they do it to me, I talk about it on the radio.
Well, there you go. See, it's probably cathartic.
It is cathartic for me. Like the young lady that at Walmart 2 years ago that we were standing in line. I didn't know my cart was touching her. She turns around, pushes it in, and goes, "Touches me one more time, I'm gonna get upside your head." And I was like, I didn't know it, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you for the warning. I appreciate that.
The de-escalation techniques, just remain calm, the calmest person in there.
Yeah, yeah, and you know, and there are always going to be folks who that upsets them even more because they're not getting that response that they expected, or
just walk away.
Yeah, maybe they're pining for an argument of some kind, and just maintain your composure. Take the high road.
Same thing goes with road rage.
Sure.
A lot of road rage.
There is.
Yeah. And I think it's because, well, maybe with less traffic because of the more expensive gas.
I was just going to make a gasoline joke. That's probably that $6 a gallon gas.
Yeah. My goodness gracious. I mean, like I said, $4.89 a gallon. That's the cheapest I saw.
Yeah.
And that was this morning. How are people, how do you think, I know this is a big hypothetical, but how do you think that's going to affect people? Drivers, are they going to be more into road rage?
Yeah, I don't know. I think the ragey aspect of it would come from sitting still somewhere in a freeway and knowing that you're burning gas and not going anywhere. But it'll be interesting. I think we touched on it just briefly before we came on the air, and it'll be interesting to see if that minimizes traffic flow and vehicle usage, fuel consumption nationwide, or is that going to be something where, kind of like I was saying, I think that people in the United States are very fond of their vehicles, and people will offset that expense in some other facet of their life. They're still going to drive. Maybe they enjoy driving, or they enjoy that big lifted truck that they have, or whatever the case may be. And so instead of cutting back on their driving, they're just going to get one less latte, or not go out to dinner one night. Did
you notice a couple weeks ago that there was a lot of people doing burnouts? What I mean, in like intersections, there's donuts in the intersection. I don't know what it's like endemic recently.
Yeah, it's been going on for a while. It's a problem.
It's one of those little meet cars that sound like an engine in a tin can.
They call them sideshows.
Sideshows. That's something that law enforcement deals with. I mean, being a sheriff in the unincorporated areas, that's usually where most of these take place.
It is. A lot of those either, high-profile areas where they can video it and throw it up on some form of social media.
It used to be Slough House Road out in Yuba County.
Yeah, there's a number of different spots. One of the things that we try to do is we have very good partners in the area, and we're very thankful that we have those partners. And that's the Yuba City Police Department and Yuba Sutter CHP Office, Yuba County Sheriff's Office, Marysville Police Department. And so we work together jointly when those type of events come up, or we have information regarding those events. And generally, we all try to put in a couple, 2 or 3 different officers and work together as a team to mitigate that. And really, it's
just showing up mitigates it, right?
Well, to a degree, and you try to eliminate the illegal activities because those are the ones that are dangerous. If you got some car that's spinning around a parking lot at 30 miles an hour, it might look all fun and neat and funny, and
they don't realize how dangerous it is.
Yeah, if they get out of control and they run into 30 people that are watching it on the side of it, or 6 other cars, or some citizen that's walking out of a grocery store and they decide to do it in the parking lot, it's not safe for anyone.
All I can think about is, man, that's a lot of wear and tear on those tires.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. It's disposable
no doubt about
money,
it. They put money into those vehicles too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any final words you'd like to say?
Just we appreciate you having us here. You guys are always a wonderful resource for us, and it's a great format, a great venue to be able to share information with our community.
Wonderful. Deputy Andre Licon for Sutter County Sheriff's Department. Thank you, sir. Keep up the good work.
Thank you so much.
This community interview is made possible by Shaw & Associates.
I'm Dave Shaw, President and CEO of Shaw & Associates. For over 65 years, Shaw & Associates has been your trusted local expert for wealth management, tax, accounting, and payroll. Thank you for voting us Yuba Sutter's best in multiple categories, including financial advisor and wealth management firm for the past 5 years. You can find more information at shawassociatesinc.com or 530-674-1150. Shaw & Associates is proud to support community radio.
The station that is